The sky was dark with smoke from the fires of battle. Lyra, the alien queen, stood on the cliff above the battlefield, her eyes scanning the chaos below. Her people had fought bravely, but the enemy forces were strong and relentless. Soldiers fell one by one, and the ground was littered with the bodies of warriors. Lyra felt a deep ache in her chest as she watched her kingdom, the place she had protected her whole life, crumble around her. The air was filled with the roar of battle cries and the sound of metal clashing. Her heart pounded with fear and determination. She knew that if they lost this fight, her people would be enslaved, or worse. Kale, her loyal dragon, circled above, his scales shimmering in the firelight. He let out a deafening roar, spewing fire to push back the enemy forces. His wings beat powerfully, stirring the hot air around them. Lyra knew Kale had saved many lives that day, but even his strength could not hold back the flood of enemies forever. She felt a pang of helplessness but forced herself to stay calm. As a queen, she had to show strength even when she felt fear. The battlefield was a mess of fallen warriors, broken weapons, and burning structures. Lyra could see her soldiers struggling to hold their ground. She had hoped her mystical powers would turn the tide, but the enemy seemed prepared for every attack. Her advisors were shouting, trying to coordinate their remaining troops, but panic was spreading like wildfire. Lyra felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. She could not let her people see her despair. She needed a plan, a way to inspire hope when all seemed lost. Among the chaos, Lyra noticed a human in the crowd. She had seen humans before, but they were not known for fighting in alien wars. This human was different. She moved with purpose and courage, dodging attacks and helping fallen soldiers. Her eyes were focused and determined. Lyra felt a strange sense of hope as she watched her. The human did not have a weapon, yet she fought with bravery that rivaled the strongest of Lyra's warriors. The queen could not take her eyes off the human. Something about her presence seemed to shift the energy on the battlefield. Kale swooped low, covering the human as she moved forward. Flames from the dragon's breath pushed back the enemy soldiers, giving the human a chance to strike. Lyra felt a flicker of pride and relief. Perhaps this human could change the course of the battle. She had not expected help from an outsider, yet here it was. The human was not trained in alien combat techniques, yet she fought with strategy and courage. Each movement was careful, yet bold, and she seemed to inspire the soldiers around her. Lyra saw her own people rallying, gaining strength from the human's bravery. The enemy commander noticed the human and shouted orders, sending a group to attack her. The human did not hesitate. She dodged, struck back, and used the environment to her advantage. Lyra could feel her heart beating faster with every move. The human was risking her life without fear. Lyra realized that this was not luck. The human had a spark of courage and strength that could turn the tide. She needed to get closer, to understand how this human could help them win. Kale landed beside her, smoke curling from his nostrils, and the human glanced up at the dragon without fear. Lyra felt a sense of wonder and relief. Perhaps this was the moment that could save her kingdom. The battle continued around them, but Lyra's focus remained on the human. She observed the way she moved, how she made split-second decisions, and how she inspired others. Soldiers who had been losing hope were now fighting with renewed energy. The human's presence was like a beacon in the darkness. Lyra felt a sense of trust forming, a connection that went beyond species. She knew she had to protect this human. Her instincts as a queen and a warrior told her that this person was important. Kale nudged the human gently, almost as if acknowledging her role in the battle. Lyra felt a warmth in her chest, a rare feeling of hope amid the chaos. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the battlefield, Lyra saw the enemy forces starting to falter. The human had made a difference. Her bravery had inspired not only the soldiers but also the queen herself. Lyra took a deep breath and felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battle was not over, but now there was a chance for victory. She knew that with this human by their side, they could push back the enemy and protect their people. Lyra felt a surge of determination and readiness. She would fight with every ounce of strength she had, and she would make sure her kingdom survived. The air was thick with smoke and tension, But Lyra no longer felt helpless. She had seen the courage of a human from the crowd, and it had given her hope. Kale roared again, flying high into the sky, signaling to the remaining soldiers to regroup and attack with renewed vigor. Lyra felt the weight of responsibility, but she also felt a spark of hope. The battle was still raging, but now there was a chance to win. The queen would not give up. She would protect her people, and she would protect the human who had stepped forward when all seemed lost. Together, they could face the enemy and fight for the survival of the alien kingdom. The battlefield was chaotic and dangerous, but Lyra was ready to lead, ready to fight, and ready to see her people through the darkest hours of war. Claire moved through the battlefield with determination. She had no weapon, but her mind was sharp and her courage was strong. Soldiers fell around her and explosions shook the ground, but she did not falter. Her eyes were focused on the enemies who had surrounded the alien forces. She saw their fear and panic and knew this was her chance to help. Each step she took was careful yet bold. She dodged fallen debris and used the terrain to her advantage. Claire moved with a rhythm that was almost instinctive. She lifted fallen weapons and handed them to the alien soldiers who were struggling to defend themselves. Her actions inspired others. Soldiers began to fight with more hope and energy. The presence of the human from the crowd changed the atmosphere on the battlefield. Even the alien queen watched from above and felt a spark of hope. She knew the human was extraordinary. Claire noticed Kale the dragon flying overhead. He was a massive creature and his fire was a shield for her and the soldiers around. She did not show fear. Instead, she moved closer to the enemies who had begun to notice her. They hesitated as they saw a human moving with the courage of a seasoned warrior. Claire took advantage of their pause. She used her body and mind to block attacks and push back the enemy. Soldiers who had lost hope began to see that the battle could be won. Claire's presence became a rallying point for the alien army. Lyra watched in amazement as the human moved among the soldiers. Each action was purposeful and each move inspired courage. The queen could feel a change in the energy of the battlefield. The enemy forces were still strong, but their confidence wavered. Claire had shown them that strength could come from unexpected places. She moved quickly, helping a group of alien soldiers trapped under debris. She lifted the heavy pieces with all her strength. The soldiers looked at her with gratitude and newfound determination. Claire spoke to them with calm and clear words. She encouraged them to fight with hope and bravery. Her voice carried across the battlefield, and even the human soldiers around felt inspired. The aliens responded with renewed energy and pushed back the enemy lines. Kale swooped low, giving Claire and the soldiers protection as they moved forward. The human's actions were precise and careful. Each decision she made saved lives and created opportunities for the alien forces. Claire did not hesitate to put herself in danger. She understood the risk, but her courage outweighed fear. She moved to block a group of enemies from reaching a group of alien soldiers who were about to be overrun. Using quick thinking and agility, she forced the attackers back. The soldiers rallied and pushed forward. The human had given them hope and guidance. Lyra could see the impact from above. Her soldiers were no longer panicked. They were fighting with strength and determination because of Claire. The queen felt admiration and a growing sense of trust in the human. Kale landed nearby, curling his massive body around the human as a form of protection. Claire looked up at the dragon and gave a small nod. She understood the silent message of alliance. Together they could hold the line and even push back the enemy. The enemy noticed the shift, and their attacks became less organized. They were confused by the sudden courage of the alien forces. Claire saw an opportunity and moved quickly. She ran between groups of soldiers, redirecting their attacks and helping them defend weaker positions. Each action she took had a ripple effect across the battlefield. The alien soldiers fought with renewed energy. The human had become the heart of the army. Lyra observed with awe and a sense of relief. The tide of battle was changing. The human from the crowd had turned into a hero in the eyes of all. Claire's courage was not only inspiring the soldiers but also challenging the enemy. Their confidence faltered. The queen realized that the presence of the human was more than just a lucky intervention. She was a force that could alter the course of the war. Claire continued to move with precision. She helped a group of alien soldiers trapped in a narrow alley. She lifted fallen beams and cleared the path. The soldiers followed her lead and fought with renewed strength. Kale roared from above, sending flames in a wide arc to block enemy advances. Claire used this opportunity to guide the soldiers forward. Each step was carefully calculated. She saved a wounded soldier and encouraged him to stand and fight. The human's bravery was contagious. Soldiers who had been fearful now stood tall. They faced the enemy with courage and determination. Claire's presence brought hope to those who had almost given up. Lyra felt a wave of emotion, relief mixed with admiration. The human from the crowd had become the turning point of the battle. The alien queen realized that with Claire by their side they could survive and even win. Kale circled above, roaring in approval and protection. The human moved through the battlefield like a spark that ignited a fire. The alien soldiers followed her lead and fought with renewed strength. Claire's courage, determination, and intelligence changed the energy of the battlefield. Lyra watched as her people regained hope and fought back with strength. The enemy was strong, but no longer unstoppable. Claire had given the aliens a chance to win, and the queen knew this human was special. As the sun began to set, she moved with urgency and focus. Each step, each action, each decision mattered. Claire had become the hero who had stepped forward when all seemed lost. She had turned the tide of the battle and inspired the alien soldiers to fight with courage and hope. Claire continued moving across the battlefield, her eyes sharp and focused. She had learned quickly how to use the environment to protect herself and assist the alien soldiers. Every step she took was careful and deliberate, but also full of courage and energy. The enemies noticed her courage and began to hesitate. They had not expected a human to show such strength. Claire did not pause. She used every opportunity to help the alien forces and protect the weaker soldiers. She guided them to safer positions and helped them lift fallen comrades. Each movement was precise and calculated, giving the aliens a chance to regroup and counterattack. Kale flew above, providing cover with his flames and sharp claws. The dragon's presence was a shield and a warning to the enemies. Claire moved with him in mind, adjusting her actions to stay safe while helping others. She pulled a fallen beam off a trapped soldier and encouraged him to get up and fight. The soldier smiled and nodded, inspired by her courage and determination. Her actions had a ripple effect across the battlefield. Soldiers who had been fearful now stood tall and fought with renewed energy. Claire moved to another area, where alien soldiers were surrounded. She did not hesitate. She used her strength and quick thinking to push back the enemy, allowing the aliens to escape. She instructed them calmly, guiding them to safer positions. Her voice carried a sense of calm and authority. She inspired hope even in the darkest moments. The enemies began to lose confidence. Their attacks were less organized, and their coordination faltered. Claire continued to act quickly, helping soldiers and redirecting attacks. Her energy and courage were infectious. The alien forces began to push back against the attackers with new strength and determination. Lyra watched from above, her heart filled with hope and admiration. She had not expected a human to change the course of the battle. Claire moved through the battlefield with a mixture of courage and intelligence. Each step she took saved lives and inspired soldiers around her. She helped a group of aliens trapped behind debris, lifting heavy pieces and clearing the path. The soldiers followed her lead and fought with renewed energy. Kale swooped low, protecting her and the soldiers around her. His fire created a barrier, and his roar was a warning to the enemies. Claire did not flinch. She moved with confidence, knowing she was making a difference. Every action was calculated and purposeful. She encouraged the soldiers with her words and actions, giving them hope and courage. The enemies began to feel fear and hesitation. Their confidence wavered as they saw the human leading the aliens. Claire moved to another section where a group of wounded soldiers were struggling. She helped them stand and guided them to safer ground. Her presence was like a beacon of hope and strength. Kale circled above, protecting them and signaling to other soldiers to advance. Claire continued moving across the battlefield, saving soldiers and inspiring courage. Her actions changed the energy of the fight. The alien forces gained strength and began pushing back. The enemies could no longer maintain their attacks. Claire moved quickly, helping soldiers and guiding them, she used the terrain and her awareness to outmaneuver the attackers. Her courage and quick thinking saved many lives. The alien queen observed from above, feeling a mixture of relief and admiration. She knew this human was extraordinary. Claire had become the turning point of the battle. Her presence inspired the alien soldiers to fight with courage and hope. Kale flew high, providing protection and signaling to the soldiers to advance. Claire did not stop. She moved from one area to another, helping soldiers and directing their actions. Each decision she made had an impact. The enemies were losing confidence and their attacks became weaker. Claire's courage and determination gave the aliens a chance to regain control of the battlefield. The soldiers followed her lead and fought with strength and hope. Claire moved to another trapped group, lifting debris and encouraging them to fight. She guided them to safer positions and helped them recover their morale improved, and they joined the fight with renewed energy. Kale's presence was a constant shield, protecting Claire and the soldiers around her. Claire's actions were precise and purposeful. She did not hesitate to take risks to save others. Her courage was contagious, inspiring the soldiers to continue fighting even when hope seemed lost. The enemies were now disorganized. Their attacks lacked coordination and their confidence was shaken. Claire moved quickly, helping soldiers and guiding their actions. Each movement made a difference. She inspired courage and hope in the alien forces. Lyra watched and felt a deep sense of gratitude and trust. The human from the crowd had become the hero she needed. Claire's courage and quick thinking had turned the tide of battle. The alien soldiers fought with renewed strength and determination. The enemies faltered and the human continued to inspire hope across the battlefield. Her actions saved lives and inspired courage. The battle had shifted. Because of her presence, Claire moved with focus and determination, helping soldiers and pushing back the enemy. Each step she took was a testament to her courage and strength. Kale flew above, providing protection and support. The alien forces now had hope and energy. Claire's bravery had given them the chance to fight back and survive. The queen watched with admiration and trust, knowing that together with the human, they could face any challenge and protect their kingdom. The battle had shifted in favor of the alien forces. Because of Claire, the soldiers followed her lead and fought with courage and determination. They moved as one unit, inspired by the human who had come from the crowd to fight. Claire moved swiftly across the battlefield, helping soldiers and guiding their actions. She lifted debris to free trapped aliens and encouraged them to rise and continue fighting. Her presence gave hope where there had been despair. Kale flew above the battlefield, his wings stirring the air and his fire protecting Claire and the soldiers around. Her courage had inspired both human and alien forces to unite and fight with new strength. The enemies tried to regroup, but their confidence was shaken. They hesitated, seeing the determination in the eyes of the aliens and the courage of the human leading them. Claire moved from one area to another, guiding soldiers and redirecting attacks. She helped the wounded and reassured the scared. Her calm and clear directions allowed the aliens to regain control of the battlefield. Each action she took had a ripple effect on the entire fight. The soldiers who had been on the verge of giving up now stood tall. They fought with renewed energy and strength. Claire's movements were precise and calculated. She used her surroundings to her advantage, dodging attacks and pushing back enemies without hesitation. The alien queen observed from a distance, feeling admiration and trust. She knew that Claire was the key to turning the tide. The dragon Kale stayed close, providing protection and signaling soldiers to advance. Claire moved to a group of soldiers trapped under fallen debris. She lifted heavy beams with all her strength, allowing the aliens to escape. The soldiers followed her lead and regained their positions on the battlefield. The energy of the fight shifted. The alien forces now had hope and confidence. They pushed back the enemy with determination. Claire moved quickly, assisting soldiers and guiding their movements. Each step she took was deliberate and full of courage. Her presence inspired hope and strength in those around her. Kale swooped down, breathing fire to block enemy attacks. His massive wings shielded Claire and the soldiers from harm. The enemies became disorganized. Their attacks lost coordination and strength. Claire used this to help alien forces advance. She guided them to attack weak points and provided encouragement. The soldiers regained ground they had almost lost before Claire's arrival. Her courage gave them a reason to fight and believe in victory. The queen watched and felt a surge of relief and gratitude. Claire's actions had changed the energy of the battlefield. Her intelligence and bravery had become a rallying point. For all fighting forces, she moved to another area, helping soldiers who were wounded or trapped. Her instructions were clear and calming, giving them courage to rise and fight. Claire inspired unity among the soldiers. They moved together as one, guided by her quick thinking and bravery. Kale remained above, giving protection and support. Claire's courage had become contagious. The aliens and humans fighting alongside them now had hope. The enemies began to fall back as their confidence faltered. They saw the human moving boldly among the alien soldiers, guiding them and protecting them. Her actions caused confusion and hesitation among the enemy lines. Claire continued moving quickly, assisting soldiers and directing actions. Each decision she made had an impact on the outcome of the battle. Her courage and intelligence gave strength to those who had almost lost hope. The alien soldiers now fought with determination and energy. They advanced with confidence, following Claire's guidance. An example, Kale's presence above allowed them to move forward safely. The enemies were disorganized and confused. Claire moved swiftly to help a trapped group, lifting debris and guiding them to safety. The soldiers joined the fight with renewed strength and energy. Her bravery inspired hope and courage in all around her. The battlefield had changed. Claire's actions had shifted the momentum. She had become the turning point. The soldiers followed her lead with confidence and determination. Kale flew above, protecting them and signaling to advance. Claire moved with precision and purpose, helping soldiers and redirecting attacks. Her courage had given the aliens a chance to regain control and fight with hope. The enemies faltered, seeing the strength and unity inspired by Claire. Their attacks became weaker and uncoordinated. The soldiers now had a reason to fight. They regained ground and pushed back the attack as Claire moved across the battlefield, helping the wounded and encouraging soldiers to rise and fight. She guided them to safer positions and instructed them on attacks. Her actions gave hope and strength to the alien forces. Kale stayed close, providing protection and inspiration. Claire's courage and intelligence had united the soldiers. Her actions had shifted the tide of battle and given the aliens a chance to survive and win. The Queen observed with admiration and trust. She knew that together with Claire and Kale, they could face any challenge and protect their kingdom. The battle continued, but hope and determination now guided the aliens. Every soldier fought with courage, inspired by the human from the crowd. Claire moved with urgency and purpose, helping soldiers and guiding their actions. She had become the spark that ignited the strength of the alien forces. The enemies faltered and fell back, their confidence weakened. Claire's bravery and quick thinking had changed the course of the battle and given the aliens a chance at victory. The battlefield was quieting as the enemy forces began to retreat. The alien soldiers moved carefully, ensuring no sudden attacks could surprise them. Claire moved among the soldiers, checking on the wounded and guiding those who were struggling. She helped a young soldier stand and encouraged him to continue fighting. His eyes shone with gratitude and renewed determination. Kale flew above, circling the battlefield and signaling that the enemies had begun to fall back. Claire moved swiftly to guide the soldiers to safer positions. She assisted those who had been trapped under debris and provided calm words of encouragement. The Queen observed from a distance, feeling relief and admiration. She could not believe how much the human from the crowd had changed the course of the battle. Claire continued moving, helping soldiers and directing their actions. She encouraged them to remain vigilant and not relax too soon. The energy of the battlefield had shifted from chaos to careful organization and hope. Soldiers who had been terrified now held their heads high and moved with confidence. Claire helped them form lines and coordinate attacks. She provided advice on weak points in the enemy formation and guided them to push back effectively. Kale swooped low, ensuring the soldiers were safe from remaining attackers. Claire moved to another group trapped behind a collapsed wall. She lifted heavy debris and instructed the soldiers on how to regroup. They followed her lead with trust and determination. The alien queen felt gratitude and wonder at the humans' courage. Her soldiers had regained hope because of Claire. She knew the survival of the kingdom depended on the bravery and quick thinking of this human. Claire moved from one area to another, checking on soldiers and assisting wherever she was needed. She inspired confidence and courage. Her presence encouraged soldiers to keep fighting and to remain united. Kale continued flying above, providing protection and support. Claire helped soldiers lift fallen comrades and guided them to safer positions. Her calm and determined voice encouraged them to continue despite exhaustion. The soldiers now worked together as a united force inspired by the human from the crowd. The enemies were faltering and their confidence had broken. Claire moved with purpose, helping soldiers and redirecting their actions. Each decision she made had a large impact on the success of the alien forces. The Queen watched, feeling relief and admiration. She knew the battle was turning because of Claire and Kale. Claire moved to help another group trapped in a burning area. She guided them safely out and instructed them on how to fight effectively. They followed her lead with determination and courage. Kale circled above, his flames and roars protecting the soldiers and signaling them to advance. The alien forces moved with new energy. Their morale had increased greatly because of the human leading and helping them. Claire moved across the battlefield, assisting the wounded and guiding soldiers. Her actions inspired bravery and hope. She checked on each group, making sure they were ready to continue the fight if needed. The Queen felt a deep sense of gratitude. Claire had saved lives and given hope to the soldiers. She had turned the tide of the battle and changed the future of the kingdom. Kale flew high, providing protection and guidance. The soldiers followed Claire's lead and moved forward with confidence. Claire assisted another group who were struggling to regroup. She lifted debris and provided clear instructions. The soldiers gained confidence and moved together as a united force. The enemies could not keep up with the new organization and strength of the alien forces. Claire continued to inspire courage and determination. She moved quickly to help soldiers and direct their actions. Her presence brought hope and strength to all who saw her. The battlefield was now under control. The alien forces had regained ground and were advancing carefully. They were no longer afraid. They fought with courage and confidence because of Claire and Kale. The Queen observed with admiration, knowing that the human from the crowd had become a hero. Her soldiers had regained hope and energy. Claire moved among the soldiers, checking for wounded and providing guidance. She encouraged them to fight with courage in unity. The alien soldiers followed her lead with determination. The enemies began to retreat completely. Their morale was broken. Claire guided the soldiers to secure the area and ensure no surprise attacks could occur. Kale flew above, providing oversight and protection. The battlefield was quieting and hope was spreading among the alien forces. Claire moved to help any remaining soldiers who were struggling. She lifted debris and gave instructions. The soldiers followed her lead, inspired by her courage and determination. The Queen felt relief and admiration. She knew the human had saved their kingdom and given them a chance to survive. Claire's bravery and intelligence had turned the tide of battle. She moved across the battlefield, helping soldiers and guiding them. She ensured everyone was safe and organized. The alien forces were victorious. The human from the crowd had become the hero and inspired courage in all. The Queen approached Claire and expressed her gratitude and trust. She knew that together with Claire and Kale they could protect their kingdom and face any challenge. The soldiers celebrated quietly under the watchful eyes of Claire and Kale, knowing that their lives were saved and their kingdom secure.